I'm an intuitive health medium, and I can see energetically where people have trapped trauma and stress, like energetically on their body, and how it manifests into illness and different physical symptoms. And I'm going to share with you a session that I did today because I've never seen anything like this. And I had to Google and educate myself throughout this session. And I've been doing this professionally for over 8 years. And today I was like, this is new. So I'm going to get into something. And it's very detailed in regards to the anatomy of the woman's body in the maternal area, because it's all things sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra resonates with personal power and passion, not just like personal passion, but like sexual passion. And it resonates physically with the sex organs, the vagina, the ovaries, the uterus, the pelvic floor. That whole area resonates with the sacral chakra. So when we experience trauma or stress in the area of personal power, or even like with sex and passion, like energetically, it'll manifest into illness in that area of the body. Now, in my client session today, a lot of the illness and issues that she had were in the sacral chakra because there were abandonment issues with the absence of the mother energy at the age of 8, which shifted her into the mother role by the age of 9. Normally, abandonment issues would come through in the heart. However, with my client, she had them in both areas because the abandonment shifted her into an adult role of becoming a mother in the childhood home, even though she was only 9 years old, and she was taking care of her siblings because there were issues with the father not being emotionally supportive because he was verbally abusive, easily angered. He had a very hot temper, like explosive types behaviors. So she was kind of in the middle playing the role of the mom in an effort to maintain peace and protect her siblings. Personal power instantly depleted. Now, because she shifted into a mother role and became an adult at the age of 9, her body physically shifted also and was like, oh, we're going to be an adult. And it became an adult at a very early age, which caused her to get her menstrual cycle. Now, when she got her menstrual cycle very early, that also created other issues. But the stress and the trauma that was taking place in the childhood home, that's what was creating and manifesting into the illnesses in the physical body of her vaginal area. In a minute, I'm going to show you a photo that I used to show her what I was seeing energetically, because the trauma and the stress that she had just sitting in her sacral chakra manifested into a symptom of excruciating pain in the vaginal area that she'd been putting up with for 3 years. And I kept seeing it, and I'm like, it's a nerve. I can see exactly where it's at. And I like made a picture. I took something off the internet, and I'm like, this is the nerve. This is where I'm seeing where it's like a pulsating pain. This is where I'm seeing how it's affecting the vaginal area. So as I'm doing her session, I'm like Googling it. I'm literally Googling what I'm seeing and feeling and screenshotting stuff. So I'll show you what I screenshot. But the problem was her doctor dismissed it. Oh, it's hormonal. Take these pain meds. You're going to have to deal with it. That's just what it is. And he diagnosed her with something that was completely irrelevant to what she was going through. And I was seeing it as a nerve. And the nerve issue, I asked her, I'm like, did you fall on your tailbone? Did you fall really hard? Because I'm seeing this, it's actually, even though you're having issues in the vaginal area, the problem is in the area of the tailbone. Something is pinched. I can literally see it, like you fell and you pinched something. There's swelling, there's inflammation in the tailbone area, which is, by the way, the root chakra, which resonates with the energy of home and having safety and stability in the home. So when there's trauma in the home, you have issues around the tailbone and the hips. You have inflammation in the knees and the feet. So even that part was resonating. So I knew I was onto something. Now, I don't own the rights to this photo, but I used it in my client session to show her what I was seeing. And this right here, this energy block is on the left, on her left side. And this is where I was seeing the energy of abandonment that took me to the mother energy at the age of 8. And I was also seeing the pinched nerve right through it, this area that was causing the vaginal pain. Now up here, this big circle is where I was seeing a bunch of trauma with her becoming the mother, her walking on eggshells, her being in fight or flight and survival patterns. And then over here on the right side, this is the trauma of the father. And this is where it was also causing pain in the area where I was also seeing nerve damage that was causing issues in the vaginal area and in her pelvic floor with a significant amount of pain. So while I was Googling and like educating myself on this, I found a diagnosis called dyspareunia, which is excruciating pain in the vaginal area and in the uterus, like having sex, sitting, like a lot of different things in the vaginal area that it creates a significant amount of pain. And every single thing that I read about it was like, oh, it's menopause, vaginal dryness, hormone imbalance, stress. It like never once mentioned anything about nerve damage. And I was looking at my client's freaking energy, and I'm like, there's nerve damage right in her tailbone. I can see it. And the nerve damage, when you read about it, when I Googled it, it causes pain in the vaginal area. So let me show you another picture. So I Googled nerve that causes vaginal pain, and this is the photo that came up with this description, which I'll come back to. But this photo right here, that's exactly what I saw. Look at the photo of my client right there on her tailbone. I'm like, there is a nerve that's pinched, which she did confirm that she had fallen and hurt her tailbone really bad. It was a few years ago, but the pain in her vaginal area started shortly after that fall. So right away, I knew I was onto something. So there's where I was seeing the pinched nerve in the tailbone. Here's the photo that came up with the exact same thing with the nerves right here. So when I Googled it, this is what came up. The pudendal nerve. It runs from the lower back through the pelvic floor, which she also had lower back pain and pain through the pelvic floor, which is the root chakra, which resonates with stability in the home, like I mentioned earlier. And this nerve, it controls the sensation and movement in the pelvic region, including the vulva and the anus. Now, damage and irritation to this nerve can lead to a condition called, and then it manifests into pain in the vulva area, and she had confirmed that she did have all of these issues. So this video isn't about like the medical field or anything like that. This is truly about intuition, because she intuitively knew something was off, and the diagnosis and the answers that she was getting from her doctor weren't matching what she was feeling intuitively. So by the time she got to me, she was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I know something's wrong. I want it fixed. I want to have kids. I want to be able to enjoy sex. Like, what the heck? And so when I was able to get into the tailbone area just by looking at the trauma in her energy, that's what brought through the nerve issue. Now, instead of going to an OB because she's thinking it's a vaginal issue, which it's not, the vagina area is being affected, but the actual problem is in the nerve area in the tailbone. Now she can go see the right doctor, get treatment, and hopefully she can heal it.